Good morning, Berlin yogis. My name is Sharon Santello, and I'm a registered yoga teacher. My favorite thing to do is make yoga accessible for everyone. We don't have to be 125 pounds. We don't have to be 30 years old. Yoga can be accessible to anyone. And I hope we can do that today. So sit back in your chair, support your own spine, and we'll just take a few minutes to center. Close your eyes if you'd like to. I'm going to turn my palms up to the ceiling in a more opening manner. Think about grounding down through your sit bones and then lifting out of your center, making that spine nice and long and tall. And then releasing the effort. So we're allowing breath to flow into the belly nice and soft, all the way up into your chest nice and soft. And at the same time, we're holding that tall spine. And as you draw your breath in, imagine you're filling up a glass of water from the bottom all the way up. And then emptying in the opposite way from the chest all the way down. Lastly, pulling in that belly to squeeze out the old air. Let's hold for one more breath. And then we'll softly open those eyes. Okay, let's get started. I'd love to have people sit at the edge of your chair, which kind of mimics a mountain pose, with your knees bent and your hips flexed. Again, we have that tall spine. Let's just roll those shoulders. Start to open up your heart and your chest. And then take the circle forward and down. And then release, nice open chest. Let's do a little cat and cow with our hands on our thighs. The heart lifts when you inhale. You can't see my back, but you can imagine that my spine is kind of arced, and I'm lifting and arcing. And then as you exhale, I'm going to round through the belly, spine, and hollow out the belly. Keep your chin tucked down, and then we'll come back to the cow. And then the cat. So using your breath to move in and out. And one last one. Holding for a breath. Let's take our arms down by our side, and we'll use them to take a nice deep breath in. Connecting the hands over my head. Look up there if it's okay with your head and your neck. And then exhale out and down. Let's do a couple more like that. Nice deep breath. And the last one. Let's give our hands a shake. Shake your arms. Roll your shoulders. We'll add a twist to the mix. So taking my left hand all the way over to my right knee, right hand on top, I'm going to inhale up at shoulder height and reach it all the way back. Using the exhale to close the hand, so nice tall spine. Let's do one more. And move to the other side. So right hand all the way over to your left knee, left hand on top. Inhale it up and reach it back. And let's do one more. Let's warm up with a seated vinyasa. Vinyasa is just a fancy word for poses weaved together with breath. So we'll start with a nice deep breath in, using the arms out and up. And exhale out and down. Hands on knees, we'll hold for a breath. Exhale over the knees all the way down, let your head hang. We're going to inhale halfway up and exhale all the way down. Using your arms out to the side, inhale out and up. And we'll exhale, namaste. So let's do that 3 more times. Out and up. In breath here. Exhale over the knees all the way down. Hang your head. Inhaling halfway up, lift your heart. Exhaling all the way down. Using your arms out to the side, all the way up. And namaste at the heart. Lift your heart into your thumbs. Namaste. One last one. In breath here. Exhale all the way down. Inhale halfway up. And exhale all the way down. Use your arms out and up. And exhale, namaste. Hold for a breath. Beautiful. We're not going to spend much time in the chair today. Let's do something for the hips, and then we'll move to standing. So I have my feet nice and wide, my spine nice and tall, and with your hands on your thighs or holding the underside of your chair, we're just going to take turns dropping the knees to center. And then both knees up. We'll walk those feet together. Let's stretch the right leg forward and we'll add a gentle reach here. We'll go to the other side. Stretch out that left leg and then add a reach. Hands on our knees. Let's do a little open close. Okay, back to center, and let's stand. I'm going to begin by standing behind my chair in the mountain pose. So you have the option of using your chair or not. And I'm just going to come up onto the balls of my feet, and then down onto the heels and lift the toes. So you're just kind of rocking the weight back and forth. And believe it or not, this helps your balance as you keep the weight evenly balanced on each foot. and at the same time bearing weight. So it does help with your balance. Okay, down into mountain, let's open our feet a little wide with hands on the hips or hands on your chair. We're going to bend the right knee, then the left, shifting our weight side to side. Keep your heart nice and tall, not coming forward. And back to center, walking those feet into mountain. Okay, taking turns, lifting your foot and kicking it back towards your bottom. You can try it without the chair. And then we'll come to center into our mountain pose again. Okay. Hands on hips, let's open those feet a little wider, but not quite as wide as your mat. And we'll just do shifting weight from side to side. And then I'm going to push my chair forward so I have some space to draw those hips round and round. Pressing your hips forward and then back. And then coming to center, other direction. Big circles, big as you can make them. And then come back to the center and walk those feet back into mountain. Let's walk them very close together. And for this pose, you have the option of holding onto your chair or not. So we're going to lift the left leg out to the side and then bring it back in. You can hold onto your chair or not. And other side, coming back to center. Before you go to the other side is very important. So my right leg here, you can use the chair or not. And then come back to mountain pose. Let's hold for a breath. Okay. I'm going to take my chair to the top of my mat here. And we're going to do a downward dog. So that begins with a forward bend. If you're using your chair. Exhaling into the forward bend. I come into a forward fold. Let's inhale into the half forward fold, and I'll step back my right foot. Let's make use of this lunge here as I bend my forward knee. This is my left knee. And then I'll press it back to match my right foot, moving into the downward dog. Stepping my right foot forward, make use of this lunge, high lunge, lift your heart, and the forward knee. Again, I'll step it back to the left foot and press back into downward dog. Let's step the left foot forward, and then the right. Move forward into forward bend. And then we'll inhale, using the arms, reaching them all the way up. And exhaling down, namaste. Lift your heart into your thumbs. And we'll hold for a breath. Okay, let's do that again. Inhaling out and up. Exhaling forward fold. Inhaling half forward bend. We're stepping the right foot back, left foot forward. Lift your heart in this high lunge. And then I'll step my left foot back to meet my right and come into the downward dog. Inhale the right foot all the way up. And bend that right knee, lifting your heart. Stepping right foot back again. Downward dog. Let's lift your hips. Come up onto the balls of your feet and drop the hips forward. So you're looking for a nice line from your shoulder to your heel. And pressing back. Downward dog again. Inhaling left foot forward. Inhaling right foot forward. And coming into the forward fold. Let's bend the knees here. And we'll take the hands from the chair to your thighs. Press your feet in. And come back into mountain pose. Perfect. Coming to the side of my chair. I'm going to open the feet nice and wide. With my hands on my hips. We're going to move into the triangle pose. And we'll use our chair. So I'm going to twist or rotate on my right heel and draw the toes right under the chair. And then I'm going to rotate on the heel of my left foot, and I'm going to bring it halfway in. So not all the way, but halfway. And my torso stays forward. Let's inhale the arms up at shoulder height. Take a nice deep breath in. And we'll bend that forward knee. Inhale back to center, straight legs, and we're going to bring that right hand all the way down to your chair. If this doesn't work for you, you have the option to use your thigh. And my left arm lifts all the way up. Triangle pose. Now, if your head and neck feel okay, you can look up at your thumb or keep your chin in line with your chest. So let's bend the forward knee. We'll press into your foot and then come up. Beautiful. I have to move my chair. You can just turn around. We always begin in mountain. Let's open our feet nice and wide. We'll rotate on the left foot, toes under the chair. Rotate on the right foot, toes come halfway in. Let's inhale the arms up at shoulder height, and then exhale and bend the forward knee. Inhale, straight legs, and exhale, reaching down, left hand to your chair. If that's too much, you can always use your thigh. And right arm, right up and over. It's okay with your head and neck. You can look up at your fingers. Let's bend the forward knee and press into your foot, coming up. Toes are forward, and then we'll walk those feet together. Let's turn to the chair, and we'll do a forward fold. Let's inhale halfway up. Easy knees. I'm holding on to the sides of my chair. And the next time you exhale, come all the way down, forward fold. And then inhale halfway up. Bend your knees, hands come from your chair onto your thighs. As you inhale, press your feet in and lift to mountain pose. And hold for a breath. Okay, I'm going to stand behind my chair again. A couple of feet behind my chair, and that gives me space to be able to bend my knees and move behind. We're going to do a few chair poses. So beginning with a breath. Use the breath to take the arms out and up, palms facing each other. And as you exhale, we're going to bend the knees and sit in your imaginary chair. Now the arms stretched up is pretty intense. So if you want to draw them out in front, palms facing each other, or even bring your hands to your thighs. Let's inhale, straighten the legs. Let's do that again. Inhaling, straighten the legs. Hold for a breath. One last chair. Let's take a breath and use your arms. Namaste. Let's come to seated. I'm going to try to cue you do the poses in the chair. But I'm going to come down to my mat. And do a Dandasana. In the chair, it would look like this. Edge of chair, legs stretched away, coming up onto the heels of your feet. Sitting up nice and straight and tall. You can place your arms down by your side. Hold the underside of your chair to lift your chest. So on the floor, it's a little different. We're coming all the way down, extending those legs out in front, pressing through your heels and sitting up nice and straight and tall. Arms by your side, press into the floor, open your chest. Okay, let's bend the right knee and draw the right foot into your left thigh. I'm going to place a hand on either side of my left knee. The idea is to make a fold between your thigh and your torso, at the same time opening the hip on the right side. Lastly, reach to your toes if you feel like you can. Let's come up and back. We'll take our right knee in and stretch them out in front. Give them a little shake. Taking the sole of the left foot into the side of the right thigh. Press through the heel and really activate that leg. Hand on either side of the right knee. And lastly, see if you can reach to those toes. And when you're ready, come up and back. And draw the knee into your chest. And then stretch them out in front. While we're here, let's come into a cobbler's pose. So soles of your feet together. Heels back towards your groin. Do the best you can. Don't lose that nice tall spine. And then draw those knees together. We'll stretch them out in front. Again, give them a little shake. Okay. I'm going to come all the way down onto my belly. But I want to show you how to do this pose in the chair as well. So let me do that first. We're going to move into Cobra Pose. I know I'm on the side of the screen, but I think you should be okay in terms of seeing what I'm doing. I'm going to come to the edge of my chair and sit up nice and straight and tall. Take your hands right in front of your shoulders and spread your fingers wide. And when you do that, it opens the chest. You can kind of feel those shoulder blades squeezing together. So you can draw your shoulders up, back, and down and squeeze and open the chest. Don't lose that nice tall spine. So Cobra on the floor. Let's begin in a table pose. And then we'll walk the knees back and drop your belly, coming all the way down. Point your toes. Draw your fingers in your hands on top of each other and we'll rest the forehead there. Breathing into your belly. Let's begin in the Sphinx Pose, which is just bending your elbows. Your fingers are stretched nice and wide. And release the tension in your belly. Breathing softly, filling up that belly. Cobra is a back bend. So we're kind of getting the back ready. So we'll take it down again. And then this time, we'll bring our hands to the side of our chest. Bring your arms to squeeze the side of your torso. And at the same time, engage your legs. Point your toes. We'll bring your forehead and nose to the mat. As you exhale the breath, lift the back of the head. Come up into Cobra, using the weight and the strength of your back. And then release down on one side of your face. Forehead and nose ready. Exhaling into Cobra. Use the strength of your back. This time, see if you can press in a bit, keeping your elbows and shoulders down. Cobra. And release on the opposite side. Let's press up into table pose. Your knees are under your hips. Your wrists are under your shoulders. Let's walk them just a bit forward and we'll press back into child's pose. Notice how my knees are a little wider than typical. I'm going to come down onto my forearms. And then release the arms out in front and draw the forehead to the mat. Now, if your forehead doesn't come quite down to the floor, you can give it a little lift. Try to keep your elbows under your shoulders. And when you're ready, let's walk back up into rock pose. Now, this might be a little challenging for some that have maybe knee issues or tight hamstrings. So let's lift up into the high kneel. A little space between our knees. Let's take the shoulders up, down, and back. We'll give a little squeeze in the shoulder blades. At the same time, pressing through your hips. And when you do that, your knees ground down a little deeper. So if you're having knee issues, you have the option of folding a blanket or a towel to put them under. Let's take our hands on our hips, fingers in front, thumbs in back, and press your hips forward. Let's take the arms out to the side. We'll bring them out and all the way up. We'll interlace our fingers and press. With a little bend in the elbow, let's go to one side. Little bend in those elbows, the other side. And exhale them out and down. Roll those shoulders. Okay, let's come all the way down and onto our back. I'm going to try to cue you how to do these poses in your chair. Coming down and all the way back. Let's begin by stretching those legs out, pressing through your heels, and we'll draw the arms by your side. Okay, let's bend the knees and place the feet on the mat. Tuck your chin down to your chest. And we're going to bring your arms down by your side. Inhale, exhale, we're going to peel the low back off of the mat and just press it up. Now it shifts the weight to your shoulders. Make sure you're looking up at the ceiling and not to the side. We're looking for a nice straight line from your knees to your shoulders. And then we'll gently bring your torso and low back down. Let's try it again. Using an in-breath. And the exhale peels your hips up and shifts the weight onto your shoulder blades and shoulders. And then gently come all the way down. One last time. Using the exhale to peel your hips up and gently bring them down. Now let's take your right knee into your chest and stretch the left leg away. Now if you're sitting in your chair, this is easy to do. Just taking one knee to your chest. I'm going to take my opposite hand, this is my left hand, and guide the knee across my body and to the opposite side. I've got this arm. So if you're sitting in your chair and you're hugging your knee, just gently rock it from side to side. Let's take the arms, reach to the knee and roll onto your back. Let's go to the other side. So left knee and extend the right leg away. Really engage those feet, activate those legs. And if you're sitting in your chair, hugging your knee, you can just gently rock it from side to side. We're looking to open that hip. I'm going to use my right hand to guide this knee right across and over to the other side. Reaching down to your knee, we'll roll on your back. Release the knee and draw the feet to the mat with bent knees. Let's take both knees into your chest. I like to cross my ankles when I do this. And you can make circles or you can rock side to side. And let's drop our feet to the mat and we'll roll to one side, make a pillow with your hands. And then when you're ready, help yourself come to seated. The head should be the last thing that comes up. So if you're seated in your chair, just have your feet on the floor, creating a nice tall spine. You really do get caught up with the arms and legs and what they're doing, but yoga is for the spine. So in this pose, the spine is nice and tall, lifting up to the crown of your head. Open your chest. And that's easy enough to do in your chair. Okay. And stretch those legs out in front and we'll open the feet nice and wide. And can you just drop the screen forward a bit? So if you're sitting in your chair, you can have one foot on the floor and just draw the opposite leg out to the side or more. Yeah, that's good. Sitting on the floor, we're going to open our heels and don't lose that nice tall spine. So sitting in a chair, you would do one leg at a time, and you could come up on the heel. So let's go to one leg because I'm not sure which one you have. So we'll do the first leg and the second leg. So hand on either side of the knee. And then hands on your shin, your calves. This would be really hard to do seated. So just keep that stretch going and keep your hands on your thighs, nice and stable. If you're on the floor, go ahead and reach for your toes. And then we'll ease up and back. Let's come to the center. If you're seated in your chair, just sit up nice and straight and tall. Feet on the floor, nice tall spine. If you're seated on the floor, we're going to walk the hands just a bit forward until you feel a stretch and then hold it. Coming up and back. Let's go to the other leg, hand on either side of the knee. This sit bone wants to lift, but keep your center grounded. And hold the shin, and then see if you can touch those toes. Let's ease up and back, and we'll bend the knees and drop the soles of the feet together. Cobbler's pose. You can do this seated in a chair. Very easy. Sitting up nice and straight and tall. Drawing the soles of your feet together. Okay, let's bring those knees together. I'm in easy sitting pose. I'm going to go back to my mat onto hands and knees. So if you're in a chair, just stay where you are, feet on the floor. Hands and knees, I'm going to stretch the right leg back. Come up onto your big toe. In your chair, edge of chair always. Just stretch that right leg out. When we do the opening of the hip, you can slide your heel versus your toe. So right leg, it's all about opening that hip. Left leg up on the heel, open your hip. Here we are, hands and knees. Nice deep breath in, stretch that right leg away. Roll the toes under, and let's just play here. See what it feels like. Bend the knee, stretch that leg. And when you're ready, come up onto your big toe. We're just going to do a little drawing. Now you'll notice I have a bend in my knee. Now let's go to the other side. So coming up onto your left toe. Let's just play here. Roll the toes under. Press through the heel. Bend the knee. Big toe, side to side. Put a little bend in your knee. And then put it back in place. Stretching right leg away. Go ahead and lift the leg, bend the knee and bring it in. And stretch it out, point the toes. So seated in your chair, you could just bring the knee into your chest and then stretch the leg out in front. Left side, stretch the left leg. Lift it up, point the toe, draw the knee in. And use your breath. And last one. Let's gently press down into child's pose. My knees are open. In a seated pose, you could just draw your hands over your knees, coming forward, but always feet on the floor in front of you. Very important. You never lose your stability. I'm coming down onto my elbows, supporting my forehead, or bringing it all the way down. Big breath here. Really use this opportunity to breathe deep. Gently walk it back. And we'll come back into table pose. We're going to do a downward dog. I'm going to show you how to do a downward dog in the chair. Sitting up nice and straight and tall. Begin by stretching your legs out in front. And I'm up onto my heel. And with a little bend in my knee, it kind of gives me a feeling of security, like I'm not going anywhere. Don't lose that nice tall spine. We'll use the arms down by your side, and then we'll inhale them out and up with the palms forward. Arms are right up next to your ear. Try not to drop them forward, but keep them in line with your torso. And we're going to use the exhale to move in to downward dog, just coming a little bit forward. So this is coming in, and this is coming out. Okay, here we go. Downward dog on the floor. Walking your hands just a bit forward. And we'll use the toes rolling under to kind of grip us. And on an exhale, lift the knee and really press back. It's down dog. Let's see if I'm showing any skin here. Okay, try that again. Inhale, rolling toes under. Use your exhale to press back, downward dog. Do the best you can. It's not a big deal if your heels don't come down. Just pedal it out a bit. And when you're ready, press back into Child's Pose. And coming up, Rock Pose or the high kneel. Let's come all the way down on our bellies again. Beginning with elbows out to the side, stacking your fingers, supporting your forehead. Breathe nice and deep into your belly, opening your low back. Let's do arms out in front. Your gaze is down at your mat. Come up onto the pinky side of your hands. And before we move, really think about elongating, stretching arms nice and long, down through your legs and point toes. Keeping the back of your neck open, chin down. On an exhale, we're going to lift your arms and the back of your head. And if you look more like this, that's fine too. Really extend down through your legs. Feet are on the mat. And release, let your elbows bend. Relax on one side of your face. Forehead and nose, arms out in front. Use the exhale, lift the back of the head and lift the arms. Point down through your legs. If you're looking more like this, that's fine too. Let the elbows bend. Rest on the other side of your face. And when you're ready, we'll press up into table pose once again. Walking hands back, rock pose or the high kneel. Let's just sit here for a moment and take a breath. We've been up, we've been down, we've been all around. I'm going to walk it back, cross my ankles, come into easy sitting pose. If you're sitting in your chair, just have your hands together in front of your heart, your feet on the floor. Take a nice deep breath in and lift your heart to your fingers. Take a nice deep breath and settle down in. Okay. I'm going to stretch my legs out in front and then come all the way back down on to our back. Okay. Let's start with the knees bent, and we'll take, this is my right knee into my chest, extending that left leg long. Keep your chin down, open the back of your neck. A lot of times we're like this. especially if our neck is tight. So if you find your forehead higher than your chin higher than your forehead, take it down a bit and see what happens to the back of the neck. It opens up. But don't press. Just let it happen. Knee into your chest. Other side, left knee, stretch the right leg away. And release. So I'm going to stretch my legs, little space between my heels so that my feet can just flop out to the side. Flattening out your shoulder blades, chin down. Think about systematically letting go. The muscles of your face and your head and your neck, shoulders and chest. Down through your arms and fingers. Your belly and your hips. Down the length of your legs. Into your ankles and feet and toes. And let's start to come back by making some little movements with your toes and fingers. You can bend the knees and bend the elbows. And when you're ready, roll to one side, make a pillow with your head. I see dust bunnies under my couch. And then lastly, help yourself come back to seated. Seated in the chair, seated on the floor. Don't lose that nice tall spine. Let's bring the hands into our heart. Big thumbs. Your heart lifts to meet them. I have lots of space between my fingers. Close your eyes if you'd like to. Namaste. We've come to the end of our practice. I hope you come back next week. Bye, everybody. I don't know who's here, but have a good Saturday.